Ever since I was an itty-bitty baby boy, I have loved Ghostbusters and I have loved the Ecto-1. Well, today as an adult, it's been 40 years since that franchise came out and my dreams have come true. Today we are taking a look at the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Ectomobile. This is a video that has been decades in the making. I can't wait to dive into this. Let's get started. Hey everybody, this is Matthew and welcome back to Nerd News Today, and it's time for another Ghostbusters toy review. Haven't done one of these in a while, and man, this literally is one I've waited years for. We're gonna get all deep into my history of the Ecto-1 and the Ghostbusters fandom that I've had since I was, for real, a little child. But yeah, we gotta get into this guy here because there's a lot to talk about. And really the big question that this video is gonna hopefully answer is whether or not this was worth the $400+ I spent on this. Because this was not a cheap purchase, not at all. So what we have before you is the Ghostbusters Ectomobile Deluxe Edition from Hasbro Pulse. They're not calling it the Ecto-1, they're calling it the Ectomobile because yes, it actually is 2 in 1. This is gonna be the Ecto-1 and the Ecto-1A. I have parts for both of them inside this massive, enormous box here. But before I get it outside of this packaging here, I want to talk about this because this is some lovely, lovely, beautiful packaging here and kind of helps lighten the blow of how expensive this massive thing was. So this is kind of similar to, in a way, how they did the Proton Pack a while ago, which was almost like a sort of Foot Locker design. And it's got some really cool designs on it. In this case, it's more like a toolbox. It's kind of like a husky box, if you will. I think that's what they call those here. There is this nice little slipcase here, which has the Ecto-1 or the Ectomobile, let's say, on the front. And on the opposite side of that, we see what's in this deluxe edition, which includes all of the figures, because there's a lot of figures in this box here, as well as the vehicle and then the Ecto-1A attachments. And one of the nice things about this too is, we mentioned the slipcase here, looks like I can just nice and easy slide these things out here, and the top box is where we are hiding all of the elements from the deluxe pack. So all the figures and all those things that we are going to be talking about later, that's all in this box. But if you were just somebody who ordered only the Ectomobile, that's going to be in this sort of grayish on top, reddish on the sides box right here. Let's see, I think we can just pop that off. So off the bat, this thing is super duper collector friendly. We're off to a very good start. On the top of our Ectomobile box, we do have a little bit of text here, just letting us know that this is the Ectomobile. Okay, cool, got it. And just a few other very fun little Ghostbuster notes and things like that. There's some stickers as well. You can see quote-unquote stickers, but you know, the faux stickers that you get. The sides also have some handles, which is a lot of fun here. So really going for just a full-on toolbox kind of look. And likewise too, so you guys can see a little bit more about this here. Again, just more shelves, some fun labels and things like that. It just adds a whole lot of personality to this packaging, and just a few more things here and there on top. I also really dig on this back side here. We've got a sticker for the Manhattan Museum of Art, which is the location of where Vigo was found in the second movie. We've also got a sticker of the Statue of Liberty there from 1989, so just lots of references to Ghostbusters 1 and 2 in this packaging already. And while I don't want to spend too much more time on the packaging, because at this point I'm really not going to do that, I do want to mention here that this was the mailer box that was sent to me. This is where everything is going to be normally with your figures. Obviously we're not doing this today because it's massive, but I kind of wanted to point out a little fun thing that Hasbro did here, which with a lot of their mailer boxes, they will put code names on the toys that folks don't know what they are. And in the case of our Ectomobile here, this was named Canyonero XL, which means whoever designed this was a Simpsons fan. And if you don't remember that joke, the Canyonero is the car with 4-wheel drive, smells like a steak, and seats 35. It's from an episode of The Simpsons. That's just a really hilarious and very unexpected reference. Like when I got this giant box in the mail, I had a little bit of a just laugh session just for that alone. So again, lots of little great touches. Even the ones that are unintentional are making this an awesome toy already. I've also got a sticker for Raise a Cult, which is one of my favorite things. You guys have seen me wearing Raise a Cult t-shirts before. I love that that's on this packaging here too as well. So that's a look at our boxes here, but let's go ahead and move on now because it's time to crack these guys open and really see if this was worth $400+ or not. And we are back and we have put this Ecto-1 together, and I gotta tell you guys, this has been a journey just constructing this guy. I don't even think it's 100% all put together yet, but it's been about an hour already of me just kind of slowly playing with pieces, enjoying the experience while also simultaneously being mildly frustrated by it, but that's par for the course with a toy like this. And shout out to Rich from Rageworks for helping to build this monstrosity here. Without him, this would not be constructed. I'd still be yelling at an empty box. So without further ado now, let's just go ahead and get into this thing. Everything about this thing is just gorgeous. Like, this is exactly what I've been waiting for this whole time. This is what I wanted back in 2013 when Matty Collector first attempted to do this toy, and their original crowdfunding deal, he basically fell apart and didn't get more than like 10% funded after a month. So I've been waiting that long for an Ecto-1 in this scale. And every single piece of this thing is just knockout, drop dead gorgeous, A++, with a few minor nitpicks here and there, but very minor. So everything about this car pretty much does something, and that's not an understatement. We'll start with the hood of the car, which actually does open up to reveal an engine section, which is really cool, very highly detailed, and unexpected too. I was not expecting there to actually be an engine under this. And mind you, I forgot, since it's now been like close to a year, maybe more, when they first did the crowdfunding for this thing here. So I've kind of forgotten what all the pieces are going to be in this thing, and I have to admit I'm pleasantly surprised by how much they have thrown into this. But tons of detail just in the engine section alone. Pop that guy back down. We keep moving. We have actual metal antenna on this side here, which should actually hook down somewhere around over here, I think, if we get it in the right spot. It actually should kind of, there we go, sneaking down there. So you got that going for it. There's another metal antenna on the opposite side of it, which you can see over here. And again, fun little accessory. FYI, I've just got my Slimer hanging out on top. We'll get to him a little bit later on, I think. We've also got doors that all open up. Every single one of these doors opens up to reveal lots of little details on the side of them, which then also reveals the interior of the car, where I've currently got Peter and Ray seated inside it. And same thing, there's just loads of details. You've got detailed steering wheel that actually does turn. We've got all sorts of different decals and mechanical bits. It's not just like an empty block of nothing. There's actual stuff in all of these parts here. And very solid paint job as well on the side of the door, on the inside of the door, on the door handles themselves. We have all the mirrors that went on top of the car here. Those are all separate pieces that had to get attached into it. And since we're talking doors too, of course, we got to talk about the back section, which does also open up and reveals even more details within it. So much stuff here. I really wasn't expecting a lot of this. We have the little side seats in there, which you can actually open up one of them, push them up and down, so you can fit your 4 figures in there. We've got a walkie-talkie phone system going on in the back of there, all sorts of different little electronics. And these are all things that Hasbro could have easily skimped on, because how often are you going to really go in the back there and look at them? But they did every single little itty-bitty thing that had to be included in this Ecto-1 to make it stand out, and I respect them for that. One of the things I'm also pretty excited about, which is weird to say, but it's this gurney. And this is where they put all the proton packs, and it slides in and out of the back of the Ecto-1, just like it did in the movies. And this thing's really cool, because it actually does put all the proton packs on it. You can take them off the figures. All 4 do securely attach. I was actually impressed by how secure these packs were on them. The packs, by the way, they do have removable proton wands, which do attach to the back. They have their wire, which is inserted into the bottom of the packs. The wheels on them are actually movable on the gurney, so they go up and down. So when you do want to slide it into the Ecto-1, it's very easy. Just put those wheels back up, push them on through. And if you were, in fact, to completely collapse it, you've got wheels in the back too. So it can actually just be slid across the floor. Again, lots of little details that I'm kind of surprised to see in such great depth. Now, as far as sliding the gurney into the back of the Ecto-1, that's where you do have a little bit of a problem, because you've got the proton guns already on it. Their wands and the wires for them kind of stick out on the top, so they don't really easily go into the Ecto-1, at least so far. I haven't really mastered what the technique is to get everything in there without crushing the wires, because yes, you actually can get them in there, but at the cost of putting a little bit of pressure on the handle and the wire of the wand, and I'm a little afraid of that. And that's kind of one of the things that's run through this entire toy, really, is I'm a little afraid of some of the parts here, because I spent a lot of money on this, and I'm a little worried if I do something wrong, I've now ruined a $400 toy, and that's gonna really, really suck. So for argument's sake, I'm not even gonna put this guy back in there. I'm just gonna go ahead and extend the wheels and just have this on the table for the time being. And when I do put it back in there, I think what I'll probably do is open it from the top of the car and just hope for the best, or I'll leave these packs on the figures, which really that's where they belong anyway. Now this vehicle came with a ton of decals. I only put on a very, very small smattering of them. At the moment, I've only put on, I think, 4 or 5 decals, which includes the No Ghost logo on each side of the car door. I've put it on the back of the car as well for where the gurney is, and I've got 2 Ecto-1 license plates, but there are so many more stickers. It's honestly a little overwhelming, and I'm not going to deal with them all right now, because that would take me probably a long time to really futz with all of those, because it's really astounding how many they made for everything, and they're so tiny too. Some of these are just so tiny. I think they might even go in the proton pack. Again, haven't looked super hard yet, but I think a lot of them are in fact for the back of the proton packs, which those are really, really tiny. If you're going to play with those, probably get some tweezers for that. And also, you guys can see right now that currently this car is in its Ecto-1 state. Like I mentioned, I bought the Deluxe Edition. I'll show you a little bit of that Deluxe Edition attachments further into the video, but again, really the biggest thing about that is going to be the back section of the car here, the hubcaps, and then just a lot more decals, which I don't want to put on, but I will say for the decals, they give you a lot of extras, so that if you do want to take things on, put them back on, make it to Ecto-1, then turn it back to Ecto-1A, back and forth, whatever you want to do, it's not impossible, and the stickers seem pretty sturdy. There are enough extras so that if one does break or tear or maybe goes past its life expectancy, you can then swap it out for a new one. But they do seem like they're pretty easy to handle, and I made a few mistakes just even applying them in the first place. They came right off. I was able to stick them back on. So they stick good, they hold their spots, but they might be able to actually be removed fairly easily to then replace with different things. So I give them some bonus points for doing that, because that's some really great engineering. I didn't play too much, like I said, with turning this into the Ecto-1A, so I didn't really play with the hubcaps, things like that, but I did play with the top section. We're going to show you that in a second. But what I do want to show you right now is the fact that this top section does pop on and pop off, and that's, again, where one of my other concerns happened. Right in this section here are these two little tabs, and you'll watch in the video how I had some difficulty getting those tabs into the correct spots, while also making this thing pop on and off. And that's, again, comes back to just me being a little afraid of breaking this toy, because those tabs in the front seemed a little kind of flimsy. I mean, they're solid enough, but with the right amount of pressure, I think they could ultimately snap. And again, then I would have ruined this $400+ toy, and I don't want to do that. In my efforts to be careful, I've actually made it a little more difficult to attach and unattach and detach, whatever, the top section of the Ectomobile. If you're willing to be a little bit brave and just go for it, you can get it on, you can get it off. You just got to apply a good amount of pressure to do it. And I would just say, even then, you know, you got to be careful, but you got to be firm with it. So there's a bit of a balancing act. I wish you the best of luck as you do it. Probably wouldn't play too much with popping it on and off. I'd say once you get it into a spot you like, maybe don't change it for a while. And there's lots of different pieces you can attach to this Ectomobile, including stuff that's on the top of the roof of the car here, on both the Ecto-1 and Ecto-1A versions. All these different mirrors and antenna you see are all separate attachments. You've got the ladder, it's on the side of the Ectomobile, which can go on to the Ecto-1 portion of it. Even on the back of the fins, you've got the little lights that attach to it. Those are separate pieces. There's actually a fun little odd thing I wasn't expecting. This is me kit bashing a little bit, but there's a kind of a light that's on the bottom section of the front there. That can pop on and off for a non-lighted portion of the car. But really, I think the main event is the lights and the sounds. That's what we came here for. So this thing is powered by 3 AA batteries, which is really not a lot at all, or it's USB powered, which I actually, again, completely forgot about because it's been so long since I paid for this thing. But yeah, you can actually plug it in through USB wire and power this thing through a bank or a charger, whatever you've got. And that's going to be a great way to save some money. So let's go ahead now and show you guys, by the way, how this is actually going to work. So the batteries are done on the bottom of the car. You just flip it over, and there's a little spot to unscrew it. Stick in your batteries, set it to either battery or USB mode, off you go. And then I believe at the front, and I think also on the back, if I recall, you press a button, and you'll get yourself the lights going. Let's get our sounds going too, just for some fun here. So there's a few different modes that you can go now with the lights. This is first mode. Let's go ahead with second mode, which gets the fins turned on. Our third mode starts to light the interior of the car. Now we've lit the full interior, and now we get all the lights. And this is where this thing is really, really beautiful here. This is what I paid all the money for. This is what I wanted to see. This thing is so cool now that it's all lit up and flashing. I mean, this is just perfect. It's kind of hard to have words for this because this is, again, what I've waited for so long in this scale. And it's honestly breathtaking. Like, this is it. They nailed it. And they went above and beyond because I didn't expect there to be internal lights to this vehicle. Every single part of this thing is lit up. It's illuminated. That's amazing. This is awesome. Like this is where the money starts to come into play now too, because you are paying for all these different lights, and there's a lot of them on this part here. You're paying for the sounds. I mean, again, just to go through all the lights here, you've got lights on the front of the car. There's some blinking ones as well. You've got all the lights that are on the top of the Ecto-1 roof, and you've got some more in the back section here, and it's still going, by the way. And just like the sounds, after a while, the lights do shut off on their own. There might be a way with the USB charger to let it keep going longer. I'm not too positive about that. Hopefully there is, because I, for one, would enjoy definitely having this thing go for as long as it can. But I also understand trying to save battery power, not burning out all these electronics. Now, if you want to go to the Ecto-1A, it's a very easy transition. You're not going to have to change any batteries out. The batteries stay on the bottom of the car. There's actually a little tab on the Ecto-1. That's kind of what will tell the car what to do as far as lights go. So you pop the top off this, you put on the Ecto-1A version, add whatever else attachments you need to, and just set it and forget it. And it's got so many more lights. It is mesmerizing. It is hypnotic to look at that. Far more colors than what you get with the Ecto-1, because really the Ecto-1 is just the blue lights on top. Ecto-1A has just a rainbow of different colors. Plus you've got the little side parts as well, where you can get, again, great use out of all the stickers they're going to give you, because you have, in this case, not stickers, but some sort of attachments that kind of just slide through the side part of the top of the car, and it can say all the different slogans you would have seen the Ecto-1 have while it was in the movie. So you've got Ghostbusters, we're back, we're ready to believe you, all that kind of stuff. Easy to pop in, slide them on, slide them out, lots of interchangeability, very modular. And again, they just look so beautiful with all those colors lighting up and looking so bright and great. It's hard not just want to leave it on all the time. Now, as far as the figures go, I think we're going to save that for a different video because I can definitely talk a lot about it. I will say, as far as value goes, it's definitely pretty great value because you got essentially 7 figures with this if you got the deluxe edition. You got all 4 of the Ghostbusters and their Ghostbusters 2 outfits. They all have their proton packs, proton wands, a few other smaller accessories. We also got Slimer, who is amazing. Maybe not my favorite version of Slimer, but still a very good version. And plus you got to enjoy how he is in the back of that packaging there, spank, spank. And we also were able to unlock some of the other exclusives when we did the crowdsourced campaign, whatever. And we were able to get Louis Tully in his Ghostbusters 2 outfit, as well as the Library Ghost. Again, we're going to keep those for another video, but I will say overall, pretty happy with the figures, except for a few minor qualms with, let's say, the head sculpts on a few of them. I do think Winston's head sculpt is the worst of the bunch. It doesn't look like Ernie Hudson at all. It's very bad, very generic. Egon is also disappointing in the fact that he does have his glasses, but unlike the original release from Hasbro a few years back, the glasses are not a separate attachment. They're just kind of painted onto his head, and they don't look as good. Peter Venkman has the best head, I think, of the bunch. They got that completely, 100% nailed it on the first try. And Dan Aykroyd, it's kind of like him about to be possessed by Vigo. Not my favorite head sculpt at all. Definitely not my favorite head sculpt of Dan Aykroyd, but not the worst either. It's passable, and you know, if they're going to be hiding in the car anyway, you're not even going to notice it. So again, we're going to spend a lot more time on those figures in a separate video because there's so much more I could say about them. But really, I wanted to play with a different set of figures for the rest of this video here. Because this is another reason why I wanted this set here. I have so many Ghostbusters figures from so many different lines, and I want to show you guys some that I think we reviewed here a long, long time ago, way back on this channel. And the figures that I am most excited to play with this are not Ghostbusters figures in the traditional sense. They are WWE Ghostbusters. This was like the most unexpected collaboration that happened some time ago, and I've been waiting for there to be a proper Ecto-1 to put these guys inside, because I actually want to test if they can fit in here. Now, I haven't actually even taken off the packs of a lot of these guys. I don't think even since I bought them, but they do in fact come off. And yeah, it's time to see. Sorry, Venkman, but you're out of the car. I got to see if Shawn Michaels can drive the Ectomobile. And just for a quick size comparison, by the way, they are essentially in scale to each other. Shawn Michaels is definitely taller than Bill Murray, so he's also still not that far out of the size range. So I'm very curious to see if we're going to be able to get him inside this car, and I'm very optimistic we will. And while it's not perfect, I got Shawn Michaels in the car, so I'm going to take that. So yeah, in other words, I can finally have all my Ghostbuster wrestlers, including Stone Cold Steve Austin, including the People's Buster, The Rock, and the never-before-seen 17 champ, John Cena, all ready to bust some ghosts and wrestle some dudes, I guess, because yeah, I also have been saving these guys for the longest time, specifically for this reason. You guys might remember these videos from, again, way, way back. These are the WWE Zombies figures, and yeah, this is going to be part of this display here. I got tons of Ghostbusters I could easily put with, you know, any of these things here, but I really want this to be for my wrestlers, because I just think this is one of the coolest things ever. And again, if you go way back in time, you'll see we reviewed a lot of Ghostbusters toys on this channel, and that includes the Diamond Select versions of the figures. So you probably weren't expecting that turn in this video here, but this is what I've wanted to do for the longest time, and this makes me extremely happy. This just is exactly what I've wanted to have for the longest time. And obviously I'm going to put my actual Ghostbusters in here too. I'm going to probably swap them out for the Diamond Select Real Ghostbusters figures. And to be fair too, by the way, as far as scale goes, if you have the Mezco 112 Ghostbusters, they will absolutely fit into this Ecto-1. I know my friend Brian McManus from Inner City Geeks, Bry2J, he's going to probably have some review at some point as well, showing how all those bits go, because he has all the Mezco stuff. He's done some customization in his vehicle too, so definitely make sure you check out that video once he's got it uploaded to his channel. But anybody that's basically within that 6-inch scale, they're going to fit in this car, and it's basically going to be a match made in heaven. I will say though, again, as far as sizes go, I wouldn't expect to get any McFarlane figures. No one really in the 7-inch scale, and that also goes, unfortunately, for those aforementioned Diamond Select figures. They're a little bit taller, and they're also a little bit less articulated in some ways, to the point where they're not going to probably be able to fit into this car. Shawn Michaels got in there, but he's not really in there perfectly. He's kind of sitting in there at a little bit of an odd angle. So scaling, I'd say keep it down to 6-inch guys, or maybe 6.5 at most. But the big question now from the very beginning of this video is, was this worth the money? Was this worth the $400? I think with tax and shipping, this was closer to like $450 or $460. That's a very large amount of money to spend on one toy. And the answer is, I'd say, yeah. I know there was a lot of controversy about it when it first was being released, when it was first being teased. Folks weren't willing to spend the money because, you know, I think without the all-in version, it was $325 plus tax and shipping and everything else, all in $400 plus tax and shipping, yada yada. But I would say at the end of the day, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck here. You're getting, in this case, the Ecto-1. You're getting the Ecto-1A. You're getting a lot of interchangeable stickers, which is very handy to have. Every part of this car lights up. The sounds are authentic. They're bright. They're gorgeous. You're getting the bonus of all 4 of the Ghostbusters, and they all come with a ton of accessories that we're going to talk about again in a separate video, most likely. But they all have their separate proton wands. They have the proton packs. They have little mini accessories. They got slime blowers. We've also got the Lewis. We got the library ghost. They've got accessories. We've got Slimer. He's got a base. There's all sorts of little elements. We got the gurney for the proton packs, which are in fact removable. And at the end of the day, this is a pretty large engineering feat. So for the price that we paid with everything that we're getting, which again is so much more than I've even shown you in this version of the car, but I've got B-roll of it if you've been seeing it throughout the video, and as well as in this spot currently here. You're getting so much bang for your buck that, yeah, I think it was an expensive thing to buy, but let's be honest here. You're never going to spend this money again because this is the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to buy this vehicle. And once you get this version here, that's it. You're done. We're not buying this again. We got Ecto-1, we got Ecto-1A. It's all in one spot here. That's it. Game over. You will never need to buy another Ecto-1 vehicle again in your lifetime. And most likely, you will not ever see another one outside of this vehicle here. So yeah, for the price that we paid, I think it's worth it, and I think it's an investment. And if you did miss out on this right now, folks are selling this thing on eBay and various other places for a slight markup. It's actually currently not that big of a markup, but I do think in a few years from now, if they don't re-release this, which I doubt that they will, because we haven't seen any real re-releases of most of the Hasbro Pulse exclusive items or the Haslab items, this guy is going to go up in price just because of the sheer size of it and what the demand was for it. We kind of know how many are out there in the wild because this was a crowdsource funded deal. So we have the exact number out there. And most of these are going to people's homes already outside of third-party vendors and folks who wanted to buy them just to resell them. So don't be surprised if this starts skyrocketing in price. And if you missed out on it, I do feel bad for you because this thing is pretty amazing. Like, again, out of a scale of 1 to 100, I got to give this, I think, a 95. Still a few little qualms I have, such as some of the fragility of certain parts of it that do concern me, but I think I might just also be being a little bit overprotective because this is such an expensive toy. And at the end of the day, that's what this thing is here. It's a toy. So it's a very pricey one, but you're getting a lot of play value with this. And hey, we're adult collectors, but we still got to play with our toys, don't we? So that is our very abridged kind of look at this vehicle here. I know I could easily have gone on way longer about this toy. We shot so much footage. Like I said, this was about an hour and a half of just putting pieces together, solving problems, putting parts in there, stickers, whatnot. There's so much to this car, but yeah, this is the abridged short version of it. If you want more, maybe we'll do a longer one later on. And like I said, stay tuned. We should be getting to the figures in a separate video because they absolutely deserve their own spotlight. And again, if you want to pick this up, well, you can't. You missed out on it. So check out eBay, go to your Big Bad Toy Store, other vendors, Entertainment Earth. If I got links for them, I'll make sure to put them into the description of this video below. If not, you're on your own. Good luck to you. So until next time, I'm Matthew. This is the Haslab Pulse exclusive, Hasbro Pulse exclusive. I don't know what this thing was, but it was on Hasbro's website. This is their deluxe Ectomobile. I love this thing. Until next time, I'm Matthew. This has been Nerd News Today. Thanks for watching, and we're ready to believe you.